Good evening and welcome to Jerry's journey on, I don't want to say get off the grid, but a reliable backup to when the power goes out. Is the Jackery unit, or for that matter, any unit, sufficient in case of an emergency or wanting to get off the grid? But primarily it was supposed to be for if the power goes out type situation. As you can see, possibly a very overcast, threatening to rain day, and therefore I did nothing out there to finish off the project. Here's some good news. The solar panel replacement has arrived and is sitting nice and dry, waiting to be installed. I would have installed it today if the weather would have stayed the way it was supposed to be, which was supposed to be sunny in the early evening. I wish it was, because in reality here, over here on the Jackery units, we are down to the battery backup being 33% and the main unit, I know you probably can't really see it, but it's 29%, and we're still pulling in some wattage, so thanks to the large panels, except right now between the office and the aquarium, we're pulling out 140 watts. And so we're going negative, of course. All these units need is about an hour or two. Today would have been more like 2 because I had used up all the way down to 3% on the large unit and down to 7% on the small unit, known as the battery backup, and it charged up to where it is right now without the sun shining that much. We had sunshine for about 5 minutes and all through the morning, and now here in the afternoon and all the way into the evening, because it's almost 8 o'clock, we did not have sufficient sun. But when it did shine, I just want to let you know that that large unit, well, both of them, it charges both of them, 4,200 watts coming in. Just imagine what that 10th panel would have done today if that was attached, but it wasn't. And so this is one lesson, if financially can be done, and that is on the sunny days, when you can charge these things up and it hits 100%, it's you got to have the multiple battery backups so that the Pennsylvania overcast days, which are numerous, you can use the battery backups to draw from on those days. And we just did not recover this week. This week has been, I think, 1 day of sun, and we had the whole house on the Jackery. Well, we learned that it wasn't really the whole house, it was the sub panel. But nonetheless, we were using 2,000 watts while pulling in 4,000 watts. And it was at 100%, and that meant that the rest of it was just going to nowhere. Now today, with it being so overcast, I wish I had that going nowhere electricity that was lost in these units. Yesterday I had made the decision, because it was also an overcast day, and a rainy day for that matter, to pull the freezer slash family room off the unit. That there was 3 cords. Let's see if we can get a light on here. Yeah, that's probably better. 3 cords. Right now there's only 2 cords, and in a little while I'm going to actually pull one of these cords because it's not going to make it through the night. Usually at midnight / 1 o'clock in the morning, I like these units at 30% because then I know it's going to make it through the night. But if we're already at 30, you might as well say 30%. It's under 30 on one, at just above 30 on the other. It's not going to make it. And so I don't want dead fish, nor do I want my office to go dead either. So that's the update. Good news, US Solar delivered. And I examined the panel front and back and was satisfied. And we'll try and get that installed as soon as possible. On the units, back-to-back overcast days, draining it down to 50%, and then overnight it draining all the way down to single digits. Cannot recover on another bleak day. And and so more of these little units, which these things can hold up to 5 of them, is the recommended path to go. But as I've been sharing on this journey, the reason why it's a journey, unlike what you get from any other YouTube outlet, instead of saying, hey, here's the advantage of all these units and this is the best one to buy and all these other encouragements, is this really an answer? Again, I lean towards a slight yes, but not a perfect yes. It's better than the gas-powered ones, and it's certainly better than the propane ones if you only have a 250-gallon tank, because you'll go through a lot of money if you're going to have a long period of outage. All right, I have another update, but I'm going to pause here and go to that other location. Hi again, and here's the update that I wanted to share with you. Got pretty far on the foil. This is the radiant foil that we're doing another test on, and when the temperatures warm up, we'll drop thermometers down an opening and have one in this room here, and then after a few hours check the thermometers and see if this is actually worthwhile. The idea here is to keep the heat from radiating into the house and heating up the house excessively, which it is so horrible you can't even breathe, especially in the attic area. And the devices such as this upper floor heat pump AC unit just runs and runs and runs. No sooner does it turn off, it turns back on. That's how hot it is during the summer. So nonetheless, this is how far I have gotten near the peak. Another row of that, because you don't go to the very top, but we're going to need another at least half row there. And this stuff does cut like wrapping paper, so it's easy to cut. We do have a couple slices right now to get around the beams, and we'll be using that foil tape to tape it up. And again, for those that say, oh, I'm not paying $170 a roll for this, and that's exactly what we have here. And I don't blame you. You are able to use ordinary tin foil if you like, shiny side down, but it's too thin for me. It would tear so easily. All right, so that's that update. Another update I want to give you is, let me turn this thing around here and talk to you sort of face to face, okay? And that is another project that I have is the garden greenhouse project. I just want to let you know that that came to a crashing stop or halt back in November for 2 reasons. Number one, cold weather set in a month earlier than normal. We used to cut grass all the way to December 7th, but this past winter it was below 0 in November. Second week, I think it was, and then it didn't let up until January. So that put a halt to it. Putting up a frame, especially wooden frame, wood just splinters when it's that cold, and so I wasn't going to waste any wood, and that's why it came to a halt. Now I say crashing halt, and that's because back in around that time as well, I unfortunately was on the ladder putting up I think I was just actually measuring at the time, so no downward pressure, and the ladder gave out, and I came crashing down, unfortunately, on top of the ladder, and I crushed some ribs, basically, and they are not healed, and I don't think they're going to heal. It must be at least 6 rows of ribs that have well cracked front and back, because I cannot sit back without uncomfortableness, and I can feel uncomfortableness pushing through my chest, and that's why I said crashing halt. However, I just want to also let you know that that doesn't stop me. I just pushed through the pain, and I erected the solar panel framework and did much more since then, and maybe that either contributed to the non-healing or what, but I don't know. All I know is that there's lots to do, and I don't have time to lay around for weeks. And besides that, they did say you're allowed light work. I don't know if splitting wood constituted as light work or not, but I did that too. Anyways, one more update, and that is employment. I just found out this week that my second job, which is a part-time job, has now been put on pause. I haven't been fired. It's been put on pause. I've been contracted for so many hours in 2026, and we're down to 40 hours left, and it's only May. And if there's any emergency, he wants to be able to have me, I'm a programmer, jump in at a moment's notice and be able to fix the thing. There's actually a seasoned developer who's also contracting, but he's officially retiring in July, and that's why I was brought on board. And it is what it is. I'll miss those extra paychecks, but I can't do anything about that. As far as the daytime employment, as I said, today's May 14th, Thursday, that I'm recording this. We're supposed to know, hopefully tomorrow, if we won the contract or not. My PM told me that it could actually be Saturday that they make the announcement, because that's technically the 60-day window they're allowed to wait until. And so we're on edge as far as waiting to see if we won the contract. The gut feeling is no, we did not. So then from there, I have to wait to see if the new contracting company, which is usually the case but not guaranteed, they talk to all the former employees that are on the current contract. Would you like to come over to the new contract? And that's how I ended up coming onto the current contract, is that I was hired before the last one turned over. And so I'm hoping that the new company will just invite me over. The question is, though, a cut in pay. How much will that be? And this is why everything's put on hold financially. I'm waiting to see what the results are going to be and how much we can afford. But as I said at the beginning of this series here of updates, input is very important to any battery system, solar system. If you don't get enough input, it's not going to work. And you need to take advantage of it. It may be a hefty bill up front, but again, I believe that for now, solar is going to be the option. We don't have a good situation for wind, which I understand is better. And definitely don't have a creek on the property either, which is for hydraulics, and that too is not necessarily feasible, and it's supposed to be better than solar. But nonetheless, it is what, like I said, it is. I wanted this whole project wrapped up well before now. I didn't think I would be going 2 months in, but it turned out to really be a journey. And for those that are sticking around or tuning in once in a while, I appreciate that. And hopefully there's something I'm sharing with you that's helpful and not just a waste of your time. All right, speaking of not wanting to waste your time, I'm going to cut it off here. Have a good day, And if I don't, never mind. I was going to just say have a good weekend, but by the time I'm a couple days ahead, you get this, your weekend's going to be over. Sorry. I hope you had a good weekend then. All right. Take care.